I don't know if I'm explaining any of this correctly, and anyone watching these videos, like, you're not gonna learn shit from me. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited about today's video because this is the first video of a new thing I'm trying out. So I started studying applied fashion design and technology this year, and I'm super excited about it and I cannot wait to share it with you. So I decided to do weekly recaps of what I've learned that week and, you know, what I'm designing, what I'm working on, you know, just like new things I'm learning. So that's basically what this video is. In this video, we're doing weeks 1 and 2 and also just like a little bit of a recap on orientation because I just couldn't get my shit together. So yeah, it's kind of like a few different things lumped in, also like a bit of stationery shopping, like supplies that I needed for the course. And so it's just like a little bit of like an overview. There's some vlog footage. I'll show you like my designs. I'll talk you through stuff. So it's not going to be anything like over the top exciting, lots of interesting, you know, I'm not going to fashion shows. Like I'm not gonna give you like, ooh, insider edition into the fashion world, because it's not like that at all. So a little bit of an overview of what it is I'm actually doing. I'm studying a certificate 2 in applied fashion design and technology. This semester is just low key. So we're not making any garments. We're not making any, you know, like clothing lines to then later on, you know, get on the catwalk at the end of the year. This is like an introductory to how to sketch, how to design, make your own patterns, how to sew. So it is literally the very beginning of, you know, whatever. So I'm not doing anything grand. So if you're expecting grand things from me, this is not the video for you. So on the 4th of February this year, I had an in-class orientation. So I'm in the bathroom of the TAFE because I decided to come to the orientation. Yeah, I got here at 8 o'clock. It doesn't start till 8:30, but like I had no idea where the orientation actually was being held. So I had to get here and like, you know, I get nervous like when I don't know where things are. Like I don't want to show up and look like a fucking idiot. So I'm here. This is orientation day. I'm chilling in the bathrooms. And I'm gonna go find the block that orientation is in now. Get there probably 10 minutes early. Just, you know, sit on my stomach a little bit because your girl do be a bit nervous. So yeah, this is orientation for my course. This was really exciting for me when I finished. Once I got there, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that there was a few issues along the way, a few admin hiccups. But I'm not going to talk about that because honestly it's in the past and I'm so totally over that. In orientation, they just let us know what we were going to be doing. It was actually also technically like the first day of class. So we started sketching and we started doing a bit of sewing. Orientation was brief but very good. I didn't need a lot of supplies, mostly because they supply us with everything from equipment to fabrics to paper, sketching pens, like the whole deal. They pretty much supply us with everything that we'll need. Of course, we can get our own fabrics. I have my own pencil case, like with my own colors and stuff like that. I also have my own sketchbook. Like I went out and I bought everything of my own as well. I really like the pattern on this one, but I feel like it's too big. I gotta get a visual arts diary. I don't think there's any like specifications on which one to get. I also need to get 2 display folders and yeah, there's quite a lot of options here. I just feel like that'd be easier because then I also have that stuff at home to then, you know, practice with. I also have my own sewing machine. I'm not great at sewing though. Stationery wise, I didn't really purchase a lot. Now let's get into week 1. For the first week, we did a bit of studying the workplace health and safety to industry standards. Industry standards is a big thing in every single class that we have, every single subject. It is all to industry standards. So that is at the end of this qualification, I can go work somewhere and I will be aware of the industry standards. So that's for, you know, quality of what is expected of me. how to produce stuff, how to sketch stuff, to industry standards. That is a subject on its own. However, it is kind of like expected through every other subject as well. So we get marked on that through every single subject that we have. So all of my assessments that I submit obviously have to meet their own brief, like for the assessment, but it also has to meet industry standards. I haven't really done too much of it. Most of the time we spend sketching. The last 2 weeks have predominantly been sketching, designing, pattern making. So in the first week, I spent a couple of hours doing industry standards, and that was learning how to use industrial sewing machines, learning how to use them correctly, how to wind the bobbin, thread the machine, like all that really super basic shit. I don't have anything to show you for that because we didn't actually make anything, and I can't film there either. So yeah, basically we just learned how to use massive industrial sewing machines. The other subject that we had was sketching, and now I actually have stuff to show you for this. So for week 1, this is just like a few things that we learnt. No one really takes notes in class, which I don't understand why, because next week we also have an exam. So it's like a technical terms exam of like what things are called and what parts of garments are called and stuff like that. And yeah, no one really wrote anything down. So I was like, interesting. But I wrote some stuff down because I have a terrible memory and I really just like to refer back to it. So in the first week, this was just like a few things that I wrote about sketching. We learned about the differences between a trade sketch and a fashion sketch. Trade sketches, which I will explain a little bit later on, are 8 heads. So your body form that you have is 8 heads. So if you took the head of your body form, like which is just like on a piece of paper, if you took the head of that for a trade sketch, you could fit 8 of those within the length of the body, and fashion sketches are 10.
This is the difference in size between an 8-head trade sketch and a 10-head fashion sketch.
And the fashion sketches are the ones that look like aliens. Your models are really tall and they've got super narrow waists, and so that is a fashion sketch. So after that, we actually started to design a few things. So this is like the basic of the basics. So this here is like what we would call trade sketches.
A trade sketch, or a technical drawing, is the fashion industry equivalent to a blueprint. It shows the factory or pattern cutter the shape of the garment when laid flat, without any artistic flair or stylization. The difference between a trade sketch and a fashion sketch or a fashion illustration is that fashion illustrations capture the mood, proportions, and the color of the design, whereas the technical sketch helps translate the garment into something universal, which your production team can understand and work on. So one is purely for the aesthetic and the mood, the vibe, and then the other one serves a very practical purpose.
So you have your garments, they're super basic, you know, like it's literally just the outline of the garments. And for this, we sketched 3 different garments, and they all had a brief that we needed to fulfill. If you were the designer, so just imagine you don't make your own clothes, you're just the designer, you would send a trade sketch to the production team. So it would have front and back sides of your garment. It would have side views as well if you had details on the side that they needed to be aware about. You would write all the specifications of that garment. So you know, what type of zipper it has, what type of waistband it has, you know, if it has any pockets, darts, pleats, like the whole thing. So everything that they need to know about producing the dress, you would write it on here. You would also have fabric swatches as well, and then you would also have a reference photo, not of like the actual skirt you're making or like the garment that you're making, but of like the basic shape. So for this one, for example, this is just an A-line skirt. This one had to have patch pockets on it as well, which my patch pockets are on the inside of the dress, of the skirt, which is why you can't see them. But anyways, so everything that you would need to send to your production team, this is like obviously a super basic version. Like the real trade sketches that they had to show us were massive, you know, like, and they were just so more detailed. This is like the basics. So that's what a trade sketch is, more for practicality than aesthetic, essentially. So this one here is a straight skirt with a waistband and darts. That was the brief that we had to fulfill. This one is an A-line skirt with patch pockets, and then this one here is a shift dress with darts. That was the brief for each of those items, and so I got to design them myself. However, personally, I'm not a huge fan of either of these. I really hate patch pockets. They're just not my style. And a shift dress as well, I would just never wear one. So it was a little bit hard for me to kind of like feel creative and stuff, but I did what I could do. So that's what we covered in week 1. For week 2, oh my God, week 2 fucking killed me. We did like, I think it was like 6.5 hours of sketching, and it just killed me. Like, oh my God. So we were on these tables, these super uncomfortable tables. We were sitting on like bar stools, and the table was like this much higher than the bar stools. So it was like, you know, we were like all leant over like a lot. I don't think that's how you're actually meant to sketch. I just think it's because there's so many of us that they're running out of space for all the students. So yeah, it was just painful. So I ended up just having to stand up. I didn't sit down to sketch because it was just really, really painful on my back. So, and your hands, like it has been a long time since I've had to use my hands for anything like consistently other than typing. But like I've gotten used to that over the years of being in like an office job. My fingers were absolutely killing me. For week 2, we did some more trade sketches. We had different garments with different briefs. Basically, they just want to test like our ability for drawing, our ability to remember what is required on a trade sketch, you know, like your fabric swatch, your reference photos, like all of that. And of course, it's just to get us used to drawing basic garments. Our teacher says that all of us in the class like to really over embellish our trade sketches because we get really excited with the designs, and we try to, you know, like push the boundaries a little bit. But she said we're gonna knock that off because that is not what a trade sketch is about. For the second week, our briefs were draw a blouse with either sleeves, collar, or buttons. So that was the brief. It could be a blouse of any kind as long as it had one of those features. I chose to go with sleeves with a flounce on the end of it, and I opted to do like this crinkle cut mesh, which I thought was really cool. And then the other one was a pair of trousers, again of any kind. This one didn't have any specs, like, so it was just a pair of trousers. We could do whatever we wanted with it. And so I opted to draw some palazzo pants because I actually have a pair of those, which I really love. And again, we have like the reference photos here and, you know, like the different fabric swatches as well. We had to just draw a t-shirt and some pants. Again, no real brief. It just had to be a t-shirt and some pants, and of course we had the fabric swatches and the photo references as well. The other thing that we did in week 2 was specification sheets. So specification sheets would also go alongside your trade sketches. So again, thinking like you're a designer and you have a whole production team to make stuff for you, you need to fill out things like this. So this is a specification sheet. So yeah, you would send your big sketches off, or like your little sketches here as well, in a specification sheet, and you would also give them all the measurements that they needed. So specification sheet here, we have just, again, a skirt. I think what this is, like an A-line skirt or a straight skirt, I don't even remember. And then this is a fabric swatch. I did not get a choice in which fabric to use for this. Everyone had to use ugly ass leopard print. And so you would have, you know, like your little fabric that they can touch it, you know, they can feel what type of fabric it is. You also have information up the top here, which is the style. So this one is SFF22. So that stands for summer skirt. What's the F stand for? I don't know. You know how like if you're watching a fashion show, they have collections that are like SS this, or, you know, a lot of them are SS. It stands for like spring skirt or summer skirt, you know, like it's just the very basics. I think I'm remembering that correctly. I don't know. I don't know. To be honest, that's what my teacher said, and I think I'm remembering it correctly, but I can't be too sure. You would also have your target market, like who are you designing this skirt for? Before we got given the brief, I was like, I'm gonna make really cute short skirts for 15 to 25-year-old women, and then they stuck me with this ugly fucking thing and also leopard print. So yeah, my age range is probably not actually appropriate for the design that I made. So you would also do a pattern making specification sheet. Now this is literally the pattern that you would cut onto your fabric. For this skirt, it's super easy. It's like literally 3 pieces. So you've got your front and your back sides, and you also have your waistband, and you would put all of the information. If you sew, you'll know all the information that's on your patterns that you use. So for example, we have front A-line skirt on this piece here. We also have center front fold. So you would cut this is like the center seam of the front piece. You would cut that on the fold, cut one on fold, and this is, you know, number 1 of 3. You also have your notches and your little markers for your darts. Pretty much the same on the back piece here as well. However, you have, this is the second piece out of 3 pieces. And then you have the information here on your waistband as well. We also, you know, learnt to fill out all these pieces here. So, because you would send this off to the person making it, they need to be able to know exactly what it is in your head. So the image that you have on in your head, they need to know everything about that so they can produce that garment for you. So this is all the information that you need. You give them, you know, the meterage for the main fabric, which is 150 centimeters wide by 160 centimeters long. You've got the interfacing, which should be like the piece of fabric on the inside of the skirt. Yeah, you know, how many centimeters is the seam or the hem allowance. Like, so you have all the information that you need would go onto this thing here. So that is what we spent week 2 learning about, is trade sketches. So everything about trade sketches so far, and also, you know, the beginning of making our own patterns. So to design your own clothes, if you're gonna then make those clothes, you need to know how to make the patterns for the clothing, because drawing them is one thing. You know, you draw a big fashion sketch or even just a trade sketch of like what the garment would look like in the most basic form. But if you don't know how to actually make that piece and like what pattern pieces you would need, it's useless. That is like all the drawings and stuff that we did in week 2. Like, I know that those pieces don't seem like it would be 6.5 hours of drawing, but let me fucking tell you, even just drawing the most basic sketches can be hard. Our teacher walks around, our sketching teacher, and if we haven't drawn something correctly, she'll make us rub it out and redraw it. And, you know, like she says, oh, like you're missing a few pieces, like you couldn't actually make that dress or like that skirt because you're missing a few little pieces. Like this needs darts, this needs a yoke, like this needs a band, like, you know, so like there's whole a process, and there are things that you actually need to make certain garments that like you wouldn't even think about, you know, like, so yeah, it's also about learning what it is we actually need to even just draw for that dress or that skirt to actually be able to be made. I don't know if I'm explaining any of this correctly, and anyone watching these videos, like, you're not gonna learn shit from me. You know, like, I'm just fucking explaining what it is that I learned because I'm really excited about it. All right, so now that all that stuff is out of the way, I have been practicing my ass off for drawing realistic clothing. I'm not the best drawer. You know, trade sketches also are just like so basic. It's not fun. It's not exciting to draw trade sketches because it's the basic of the basic. It's practical, you know, so it's not, oh, you know, like you're getting all these designs and you're going to draw like this super lavish, like beautiful picture. That's not what trade sketches are. that's more of a fashion sketch type thingy, which we study next week. So I have taken it upon myself to start drawing, and I don't even think these would be considered fashion sketches either. I think these are just more sketches. So I have been practicing my drawing skills, my realistic drawing skills, I would say, of drawing things that look as real as possible. So I'm gonna show you a few. So I have 2 here. I've only drawn 3 and they've taken me a little while each time. So I have these 2 here. So this one here is a chick who is wearing a pair of jeans and a turtleneck sweater. One of our assessment pieces for sketching is to draw firm fabrics. So draw a piece of clothing that you can tell is a firm fabric, like denim. So I've been practicing drawing my denim and it's not fantastic, but that's that one. This is like a fashionable poncho, although I kind of feel like she looks like a clown, and this is just like a fancy dress for Pennywise. And then another one of our assessments is to draw a fabric that drapes across the body, which is a lot harder, you know, than it sounds. But for that one, I've started practicing drawing like a cowl neck dress because the fabric like drapes in the front. And this one is not perfect either. I really struggle with shadows, you know, like figuring out where shadows would go. But this is this one here. I really like this one. It's the first one where I've actually drawn shoes on. I can't draw shoes for the fucking life of me. So yeah, so that is where I'm at, you know, mostly we've just been sketching. We've been doing a little bit of learning how to use industrial sewing machines because they're crazy, they're massive, they're huge, they're fucking insane. So yeah, this coming week, it's fashion sketches when we use watercolors. So that's where you put your coloring in, your details in, like you can get really fancy with it. So that I'm really, really looking forward to. I'm super excited about that. And sewing wise, I don't really know. At some point this semester, we'll be making hats, like a bucket hat, like a fascinator headband. And I think that's about it for sewing wise. I think that's all we're making this semester. And then, yeah, it's just drawing, submitting fashion sketches of certain briefs and stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at for weeks 1 and 2. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's not boring and I've just fucking put you to sleep or whatever. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I'm really excited to share all of this with you. I don't really feel like a lot of people in my life care too much about it. Like, it's just not their genre. But as a creative, I'm really excited and I can't wait to start making my own clothes and to make decent quality clothes. And I can't wait to share it all with you guys, you know, like I'm just so excited and I really hope you guys all stick around. You know, if you want to watch more of these videos, let me know if there's anything in particular that you want to know about. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. You know, like I'm really excited to share this with you guys and I really hope you're excited to be here and enjoy it as well. So yeah, if there is anything that you are interested in or any questions that you want to have answered, if there's anything, you know, I don't know, if you've got any burning questions about it, just let me know in the comment section below. I might do like a Q&A at some point about it. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram because I post a lot of my sketches. I post a lot of clothes that I wear there because I'm really trying to be a little bit more colorful in my wardrobe. Now that I am in a big city, it's easier for me to be a little bit more out there. I don't look so obvious. So yeah, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My handle is weenie.girl. And yeah, anyways, thanks so much for watching weeks 1 and 2, and I will see you all next week for week 3.